Interesting that there would be a videographer here. Okay, there we see Kwame Kilpatrick there. He's hugging his brother-in-law, Daniel Ferguson, right there. Kwame Kilpatrick in what looks to be an orange shirt coming out. His brother-in-law carrying a bag of his belongings. Kwame Kilpatrick carrying a manila envelope, no doubt with his parole orders inside there. He has 24 hours, just 24 hours to get to Texas. We are told that he will speak openly at some point about his whole experience and his incarceration. Here comes Kwame Kilpatrick outside Jackson Prison right now, live on Action News. You have to imagine just how happy he is right now. He's going to see his family, his wife, and his sons in Texas. There he is getting into the Escalade. Unclear who might be in that Escalade. They're also waiting for him. Hard to imagine that after so much time, there wouldn't be some more relatives inside just so eager to see him, but they could be having some sort of reunion, possibly in Texas because of his short amount of time that he has to actually get there and check in with his parole officer. His attorney, we did see his attorney here somewhere. Not sure if he's going to come up here and talk to us reporters at some point also. But this is certainly a day that Kwame Kilpatrick, his family, friends, a lot of his supporters have been waiting for. He was incarcerated after violating his probation, after a judge said he was hiding his assets when it came to paying his restitution to the city of Detroit. And there goes Kwame Kilpatrick in the Escalade. Again, he has 24 hours, just 24 hours from his checkout point to get to Texas. Reporting live in Jackson, Kimberly Craig, Channel 7 Action News. Mary and Vic, back to you.
And Kim, you couldn't see it because you were interviewing John Cordell at the time, but we could see that videographer was actually taking pictures of all the media out there, what was going on inside. Any indication what he's going to do with it?
Yeah, we're actually in a row of media members right here. A lot of reporters here are on this row. This is the yellow tape that we were told that we had to stay behind this morning. And there have a lot of, if you look over here to the right, Marlon, if you could pan over to the right, that's one of the prison security guards here. They had beefed up security for today because there were so many members of the media out here, and also because Kwame Kilpatrick is so high profile. They said just for his safety as well. But certainly a big sigh of relief probably at this point for prison officials that everything with his release went what appears to be smoothly, and Kwame Kilpatrick is heading out right now. We're looking at Mr. Cordell, who is with the prison right now. We'll see if we can have a word with him real quick here. Kwame Kilpatrick just released a few minutes ago from Jackson Prison here. Mr. Cordell, if we could talk to you for a second. We're going to talk to you for a second here. This is Mr. Cordell, Department of Corrections. What can you tell us, sir, about Kwame Kilpatrick's release?
Yeah, he came out, came to this facility from G. Robert Cotton Correctional Facility, changed into personal clothing here at the Parole Processing Center for Jackson, was given a small amount of cash from the cashier's office when he checked out, had completed all his parole paperwork, met with Mr. Ferguson and his attorney. They were pretty happy, exchanged some pretty gratuitous hugs, very happy, big bear hugs, happy to see each other, and he's on his way to Texas, and we're appreciative of Texas, our staff, our emergency response teams for keeping him safe and get him off state property today safely. Wish him the best in his parole. We're glad that Texas is able to assist us in supervising him so that he can be with his family down there.
And what happens now in terms of what he has to do next? He has to check in pretty much almost immediately. He has a little amount of time to travel to Texas.
Yeah, he needs to return to Texas in an expeditious manner. We expect that would be today, if not today, very early tomorrow. He has 24 hours from the time that he gets into Texas to physically meet with his parole officer. They will review what his parole conditions are, what the expectations are for him, how often he will need to check in with the parole officer. He's a very low risk as far as a parolee goes, nonviolent offender, so it's likely that his reporting requirements won't be as stringent as someone who is a very high risk. He did a good job here with us. He served his time without incident. We appreciate that of all prisoners who come through the system. So once he's done, he'll have once he's out, he has a 2-year parole to complete. And once that parole is complete, he'll be done with supervision with the state of Michigan.
Did he seem during the parole process that he was really committed to repaying that money that he owes the city of Detroit, the restitution, $860,000?
Well, I can't say that he felt really committed. That's the expectation. That's in his parole conditions as far as restitution, that he repays the $860,000. You know, if he doesn't do that, the parole board could continue the parole, or they could take other action that wouldn't lead to a longer parole but would lead to collection of the restitution.
Does he have any travel restrictions between Texas and Michigan? And if he moves back here for any period of time, does his parole transfer back to here? How does that work?
Yeah, he does have restrictions. Texas is similar to Michigan in that you cannot leave the state without the permission of your parole officer. So that would be enacted anytime he had to leave the state. He would have to get permission from his parole officer.
Does Michigan maintain jurisdiction or control, or does Texas have it at this point? And if he violates anything, does he come straight back to Michigan or what?
No, he wouldn't. Texas has jurisdiction for supervision. We still have the responsibility to ensure that he completes his parole. If there were a situation that was so egregious during his parole that he would need to return to Michigan, we would supervise him again, put him through the parole revocation process, and he may have to go back to prison. We don't expect that that'll be the case. We expect that he will do his parole, he'll do his 2 years and do them appropriately, just like here in prison.
Mr. Cordell, thank you very much. Mr. Cordell from the Department of Corrections here in Jackson, Michigan.